PDM Studio Divisions feature, control of ownership and access at the document level. In this video, we'll introduce you to the PDM Studio feature divisions. This standard, built-in feature, which is unique in our market segment, allows you to control ownership and access at the document level across departmental and organizational boundaries. In our example, a company has three divisions: robotics, Acme, and control units. Robotics develops and manufactures robots. Control units develops and manufactures control solutions, and Acme builds custom automation solutions that also utilize components from the other two divisions. Each division organizes and generates data according to its own needs. However, they all use a shared infrastructure. We will now explain how to share documents using a robot arm as an example. This includes 3D parts, drawings, specifications, calculation data, and manufacturing information. We want to share only the 3D data that is relevant to the Acme division as an interference model. To do this, we use the share command. A wizard opens to help us share information. Using filter functions, we can select specific file types that should not be shared. The Do Not Share command marks the files accordingly. Now, only the 3D models remain in our dialog box. In the next step, we can decide with which division this data should be shared. In our case, we select only Acme. In the background, PDM Studio now marks the selected documents, so that they are available only to Acme, in addition to robotics. In the PDM Studio user interface, we can see who owns a document, and with which divisions a document is shared. We'll now switch to the Acme division and see how the data that was just released is available there. We'll open the assembly in which the robot arm we just released is to be installed. To do this, we'll search for the robot arm in PDM Studio. Here, too, we see that the robot arm is owned by the robotics division but has been shared with our Acme division. After expanding the directory structure, we see that only the 3D models have been made available. We simply need to select the assembly, place it, and then install it in CAD using the usual functions. We then save the modified assembly back to PDM Studio. There, we now see the updated assembly with the newly installed robotic arm, including all information about the owner and with whom the component is shared. In addition to selectively sharing documents, you can also change ownership of a document. To do this, we use the transfer command. Let's take a monitor as an example. Ownership of this assembly is to be transferred from Acme to control unit, since the latter is responsible for the further development of this monitor assembly. We select the assembly and execute the transfer command. A wizard opens again. All components of the monitor assembly are selected by default. In the next step, we decide to which division the ownership should be transferred. PDM Studio now transfers ownership of all components in the monitor assembly to control units in the background. Despite the transfer of ownership, the assembly continues to be shared with Acme. If we now look at the overall assembly, we see that it still consists of components and assemblies managed by Acme, but also includes components and assemblies from control unit and robotics. Let's briefly summarize the benefits of the PDM Studio Divisions feature. Full control over access, read, and write permissions. Documents can be easily and flexibly shared with other divisions, and read and write permissions can be assigned on an individual basis. Easy transfer of document ownership. Each document has a designated owner who is responsible for it. Ownership can be transferred to another division. A clear user interface with less information overload. Each division, and, consequently, the users assigned to that division, sees only the documents that are either owned by them or by their division, or that are shared with their division. High data quality thanks to a unique data source. Each document exists only once. There are no redundant parts or assemblies. Working in a shared environment increases efficiency, prevents data redundancy, and reduces infrastructure, operating, and maintenance costs. For more information, please visit us on www.pdm-studio.tech/en.